here with Years of Years, and it's This Day in Disney, June 5th, and I'm excited to talk about some fun Disney and interesting Disney history today. So to start off, we aren't going very far back at all, at least to me. 2010 on this day ended the nighttime spectacular parade SpectroMagic at the Magic Kingdom. So this nighttime parade had begun in 1991 and continued to run for about 17 years, so almost 20 years. It closed for a bit from May to June in 1999. This actually replaced the Main Street Electrical Parade at the Magic Kingdom, which was sent to Disneyland at the time. It featured scenes from The Little Mermaid, which was a very new film everyone was excited about at the time. Fantasia, Sleeping Beauty, I noticed Pegasus was in there from Hercules, so that's pretty fun, as well as vast number of characters, including I noticed toward the end the Three Little Pigs, and in a previous video when we talked about the first Three Little Pig cartoon, how popular that was, apparently all the way to the 1990s, still very, very popular with Disney fans. So they made their appearance in this parade. There were Spectromen, were clown-like men on these disco balls that kind of like swirled around. This was very similar to the Main Street Electrical Parade because it was all electrical. It was all lit with lights and you know, all cool visuals and things like that. So for this particular time period, it was very innovative and fun and awesome. The floats were really, really interesting. One of the floats I really enjoyed watching was Mickey Mouse's float toward the beginning. It's so cool the way the smoke's coming out on the bottom. I mean, it just looks like it's floating above the ground, so it's really fun. So they would actually change the order of the characters through, you know, every night of the performance. So you never knew what order the characters would be in. Things would be changed up a bit. So that made it kind of new every time you saw it. I really like that concept and idea. And, you know, I think never knowing what you're going to get each evening would be kind of fun with nighttime or any Disney parade. Really fun. This was a beloved parade by many people. Going to check this out and reading comments, people miss this parade quite a bit. And when I was doing research for it, I found out that a lot of the floats were destroyed in 2013. So it's not something that can come back, which is even more sad. Sorry guys. But it was a really cool parade. I enjoyed checking it out, and you can go check it out too. As I always tell you to do, you gotta see these things. They're exciting and fun to see, and I love that people took the time to make these videos and put them up there for us, especially when you go back further in time. It's really hard to put a quality video up because, you know, you had VHS, you don't have the same kind of technology that we have today where it's so easy. You just put your phone up and record and it's beautiful compared to the past. So I really appreciate people who put up videos so we can see things even if the quality isn't that great. I don't care, put it up. If it's not out there, I'd love to see anything from Disney parks or Disney history up on you know, online. So that happened back then in 2010, so not too long ago. And then 2012 on this day, a little bit sad too, was that Ray Bradbury passed away. And he was the man who dreamed the future, and he actually passed away at the age of 91. So he did live pretty long. I think that's pretty cool. He passed away in Los Angeles, California. So if you didn't know, he actually helped design Epcot's Spaceship Earth, and he penned the original story for the attraction. Oh boy, I would love to see the original attraction in person, and I don't know how much different the current attraction is from the original. We talked about this before in a previous video. We're going to be going into the 5th version of this ride. So I don't know how much is retained from what Ray Bradbury did, but I'm going to keep researching and find out for myself, as I suggest you do too. Go figure it out. How much is the same as what he wrote originally? He was a famous American author for mystery fiction, science fiction, horror, and some of his most famous works were, one in particular, Fahrenheit 457. It's a very popular book, as well as The Martian Chronicles and The Illustrated Man. Upon his death, the New York Times called him the writer most responsible for bringing modern science fiction into the literary mainstream. So we can thank him for that. He was a really cool guy, and he really tried to influence the younger generation and younger authors. One of the things that he really loved were local libraries. And he actually was quoted as saying, "As the library raised me." I love that. That was a big thing with my kids and myself when, you know, they were growing up. We always loved to go to the library, and there's just a wealth of knowledge that you can have for free when you go to the library. I don't know, it's all there on your phone, but it's not the same as reading the books. Reading books is just, you know, magical. You can go into your own imagination and have a blast while you read you know, all these different stories that people have been writing for so many years, and the library is the place to go and do that. So he inspired generations to dream, think, and create. So awesome. So cool story. Another connection with Disney. He was a fan of Disney, period. Fan of Walt Disney, fan of the park and everything. So he was quoted as he loved to tell this story of his lunch with Walt Disney once, when he asked him to run for mayor of Los Angeles, and Walt's reply was, "Why should I run for mayor when I'm already king of Disneyland?" So there you go. And that could really spark a whole long conversation about some of the ideas that Walt had when you go and look into Epcot and the original plans and the things that Walt said, and some of his ideas for not just Epcot, but for city planning. We're very forward thinking. It's not something cities have really done, but I'm really a fan of some of his ideas. I think they could have made things, you know, a little more socially community driven, and less cars, for instance, maybe monorails in towns and things like, which, I mean, that would be so great, just to be able to hop on a monorail, hop on a ride in your own town, all over America, all over the world. Other countries do that. I think it would have been really fun, but we don't really have that system here the way that, you know, Walt envisioned it, and others have envisioned it as well. But that's a whole nother story. One thing that Ray Bradbury said about Disney was, if we can borrow some concepts from Disneyland, Disney World, and Epcot, then indeed the world would be a better place. So that is a perfect way to end this day in Disney, and just thinking about, you know, what has been created by these parks and what they represent to us. And as we move forward and have the opportunity to go back to them, especially after this particular break from many things in our world, you know, we're starting to go back and enjoy them. And I do think that this is the time to really take it all in, and maybe have more gratitude and love for the things that we're able to do in our world, and the things that have been created by very creative women and men, and they continue to have ideas. And I hope you continue to have ideas and get out there and make something great in your own world. So I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll